says going live still. Now we're live. We're live now.
Hey guys, you're watching Daniel and Gian talk, and today we're going to be doing a full review of Arbaz Khan's The Bang,
Dabangg.
starring
Actually, Kashyap's brother directed it.
Salman Khan.
Yeah,
Oh, did he?
Dabangg, as they say in the movie. So I'm assuming that's how you pronounce it. Is Dabangg.
The Bang.
What do you? Let's. I mean, what do you think of the movie? I think we should just jump right into it. This is the one. This is the one that
What
everyone
did I
said that
think
we
of the
would love.
movie?
That it's like pure Salman at his best. It was the role designed and created for him. What do you say to that?
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say, of all the Salman films I've been exposed to, this is my favorite one, without a shadow of a doubt.
Not even close.
Like I not even close. Like I had fun watching it. It was funny. The story made sense for the most part. The twist at the end was set up fairly
Which
well.
twist?
Like oh, that the younger guy working for the politician
Oh,
was the
okay.
one that actually killed his mom.
You thought that was a
All that.
twist? That's interesting.
Yeah, absolutely was.
Maybe I didn't think of it
They
as
thought
much, but we'll get into that in a second. Because that was
you
actually one of
know
my things. I wish they would have
yeah.
just committed to him being the bad guy. Like I just assumed he was the bad guy the whole time. Like I assumed he killed the mom. I guess it is a twist because they
Oh,
confirm it like without a shadow of a doubt. But I just assumed. But anyway, what else? Keep going. I didn't want to interrupt. Keep.
that was a gross assumption, but no, I had a good time watching it. Was it a great film compared to other films? Absolutely not, not even close. But it was a good film. I had a good time watching it. Like it wasn't, I still fast forwarded
The
through all the
songs were
songs.
terrible, worthless. They
Yeah,
all
the
of them.
songs were they were
I actually
absolutely bad.
admit I joined you on fast
I
forwarding
mean,
like the music. I'm not even gonna lie.
it was you know, I don't. We never really talk about it much, but I feel like somebody told Salman one time that he was a good dancer. So he like needs to dance as much as possible. Like, and he's like, I appreciate his passion, but at the same time, he's a shitty
See,
dancer.
I actually think your opinion
Um,
might change if you saw younger Salman. I think this is a matter of him just being aged out and wanting to be young and
oh,
limber still, but he's not.
you think so you think he's stiffened up? He's
I
stiff,
think
so he can't
I think
dance
the
well
roids
anymore. But when
definitely stiffened him up a little bit. Yeah. Um, but I mean, I wrote some things down that I loved. Overall, I kind of feel the same way you did. The movie kind of fell off for me a little bit towards the end, where I was like, kind of waiting for this movie to wrap up, even though it was a short film. Like the first 25 minutes were great. I loved the first half hour or so. Like that was perfect. I really enjoyed where it was going. For me, what was missing was like a true actual villain, like a true antagonist, someone who's actually creating problems for him. Instead, it's kind of like a family melodrama. Not to say that I'm complaining, but like I was expecting like him as a cop to go after somebody, you know.
I mean, he was definitely a god, and the only time he had any sort of I can't remember the fucking word. I remembered it earlier today. Um, what's that word when you run into like problems and you
I have no
persevere?
idea what you're getting at. You'll get it. But the entries, as soon as you come back, interrupt me and we'll go back to it. But his first scene, like the first adversity. Oh my god.
Adversity. Like he doesn't face any
No, till the
adversity in the
very end,
film
really, for like the last 30
until the very end
minutes
where
or
they're
so.
fighting each other and he's losing the fight, and then he goes when he finds out when his half brother hands him the inhaler. That's when he goes super
When he actually
Salman, and we
hulks
go
out
back
and his
into the
fucking clothes rips.
yeah.
Super.
It was Bajrangi
Except
Bhaijaan
not as
all over again. The
the tears
one tier.
weren't as thick in this one though. But his
No, they
entry scene was
definitely were
great.
not.
Like hands down, one of the best entry scenes because it was over the top. And then like there's that moment where the fat dude's like his phone starts ringing, and then they start dancing like right in the middle of this huge fight scene.
It was
Every time
hilarious. I
the
love
phone rang, they just started
that.
breaking out into dance. Like it was a great
Yes.
reoccurring gag. It was fun. I
Yeah.
liked that
Yeah.
he stole the money from the bank robbers. Like that he's just not this good guy. Right after he's like telling his men like one of you guys are wounded, and he's like, what? None of us are wounded, and then he shoots the dude.
Boom. Yeah.
Over the top, completely not grounded at all, and I was with it. I enjoyed it.
It it was
The moment
consistent.
that I loved, and
It was
I
consistent.
wish it didn't actually turn into a love story. It actually would have made the scene better, but whatever. Where he's chasing the guy in the beginning, towards the beginning, and then he stops and he sees who ends up being like his love interest, right in the middle of the chase. She's like in the house or whatever, and he starts like basically like forgets the chase. They're like you can hear gunshots in the background and stuff, and he's just intent on like flirting with her and like you're gonna marry me now, like this is what's gonna happen. I thought that was I
It
thought
was
that
true
was
love at
hilarious,
first
but then
sight,
it
man.
actually ended up turning into a relationship, so it kind of lost its funniness. Because like I thought it would have been hilarious if he's just that guy, where he's just running through the streets chasing someone, hits on some girl, and then goes right back to it,
Well,
never sees her again or something.
well, he's a good boy. He loves his mama,
Of
so of
course,
course he wouldn't. Instead of a funny gag like that,
a
it turned into
romance.
him being a total creep, not a romance, a total creep, a stalker.
I
You
mean,
know,
really though, because there's a
and
whole bit where they're
you
like,
know, lightweight forcing her dad to commit suicide so that she would.
lightweight. I
Yeah.
mean, he tried to imprison him, like just so he can talk to her. He had to like bring the dad in on false rape charges, like, and then he forced the dad or something like to make them like her laugh or something. Like there was some ultimatum if like you laugh or I forgot what it was specifically, but
Well, he said if anybody can make her laugh, he was going to pay him like a
something like
thousand
that. Yeah.
rupees or something like that.
Um, But then
Uh,
there were lighthearted, fun moments with the romance, like the pot breaking scene where he goes to buy the pots from her, and he's like, how much was that? 500 rupees to talk to you, and then like he breaks them again, and then there's like playful back and forth. Again, it is a little weird with the context of
right.
like how they came to be about. It's so forced, um, but it's an over the top movie, really.
Apparently, your audio is lower than mine.
Okay, I'll change
Again,
that. That's no problem.
it's funny when
It's
we
the
record
complete
a
opposite.
podcast, Daniel's audio is through the roof, and I'm sitting here screaming, and it just sounds like I'm whispering. Uh,
Well, it should be better now. I raised it up.
there, like there was definitely some weird stuff going on a story level for sure, but for the most part, like I said, this was like the most consistent Salman film story wise that I've seen so far. I know he's been in a lot of movies, but of the films I've been exposed to, this one was the most consistent for the
It
most
wasn't
part.
trying to be grounded. That's
Um,
why. I think that's the biggest thing.
yeah, they knew it. It knew what it was, and it did what it had to do, and it was a good
I
time.
enjoyed it. Like you
It
said,
was good.
was it my favorite? Would I put it in like the library of great movies? No, but you know, it wasn't Race 3 and it wasn't Sultan and it wasn't Bajrangi Bhaijaan or any of the other shitty movies that I've seen with him in recently. Not that this movie's
Right.
recent cuz it's a
Maybe people can,
10-year-old movie.
right, and maybe people can explain like, maybe I missed it at the beginning. It seems like the issues that he had with his stepdad slash adopted dad were like all created by him. Like his stepdad didn't really do anything that
Well,
we
he
saw
didn't
on
support him.
screen.
He
And
loved his
that,
brother. Like it's explained in the very okay. So full full admission here. I watched like the first I don't know 5 to 10 minutes of the movie, and I was just watching them talk, and it hit me. I think it was about 5 minutes where I'm like, oh, I'm not reading any of the subtitles. I don't know what's going on. I've literally just been watching them just talk, and I don't know why. But so I went back and rewatched it. Everything you're talking about is in the first like few minutes. Everything. It's the two brothers like the one like his actual son and then the like you said the stepson which is Salman. So like there's that he has his real son, his horoscope read or something like that because his real son's going to be this other person, but then he won't pay to have his other son's fortune read. Like there's
Right, and I remember he made a smart ass comment, and then he got slapped across the face. But before he even got to that, he was already talking shit about dude to his mom. Like it was like,
Oh no, it was
you
definitely
know, he
it
was
was
already
an
being pissed.
exposition hatred. It was never like you never saw anything
Yeah,
that really made it. It's kind of dumb when you think about it, but
yeah. And then he kept on saying his stepbrother, even though his mom pushed him out of her vagina.
which is what
You
half.
know,
Is that a blood brother?
it's
Is
his
that a
half
blood
brother.
brother?
Yeah, no,
See,
it's his half
I'm an only
brother.
child, so
Blood brothers when you
oh, La
prick your
Cosa
finger and then
Nostra.
you
That's
like
what
the
a
other
blood
person
brother
pricks
is.
their finger. Yeah, then
Give each other
you guys
AIDS.
you give your shit so give to the AIDS exactly.
What else did you
Oh
enjoy or
man,
not like or whatever? I mean, we've only been talking 10 minutes. I feel like we talked about the whole movie already.
I mean that's how simple the movie
What did you think
was.
about the action? What do you think? Look, let's go
It
to
was
the
fine.
action. What do you think of the action? I thought
Listen, the action was ridiculous. It was just stupid, over the top, but it was consistent the whole way through. And it wasn't, even though the stuff was like obviously unbelievable and not real whatsoever, it was still like there were still bits of realism to it. I mean, he was still flying across the room
did you like when he
and stuff. I,
when he got the fire hose out and he did these like weird like ballerina. I don't even know what type of like he like what's the thing called when they like in the Olympics where they have the ribbon and they're like doing they make it do the ripple shit like no.
I don't know what that event is,
Yeah,
but
it
it's
was
definitely
something like that's
gymnastics.
really what he was doing. He
Uh,
was like jumping over the fire hose, like hitting people with it, and like, I mean, it was. There was a cool moment though in the end, in the last scene.
I mean, that was one of my favorite parts was him swinging around, beating people up with the
I
fire
loved
hose.
it.
That
The
was
first
awesome.
his
Like,
entry scene is great.
yeah, it was
I'm telling
great.
you, it's one of the best things. It's like pure Bollywood, like just pure, and it's good though. It's entertaining. It's fun. Like he puts grease all over himself so he can slide all over the floor. Like it's like. But there's a moment at the end though in the last fight scene that I really liked where he kind of raged out and the whole screen turned red and he's just like beating the dude up. And I'm like that was
Yes,
actually kind of cool. I didn't like that they went
right.
back to normal, but like that was a cool moment, nice stylized moment. There was it's funny because you didn't see Race 3, but there's a very similar moment to Race like in Race 3. Like the ending to Dabangg is very similar to the ending of Race 3 where like one guy has his no shirt on and then like Salman has to take his shirt on. And mind you, this is like 10 years later, so it's like even more steroids, even more CGI, like even more like well CGI period. So,
Well, he's on HGH
yeah,
now.
he's on something. Um but overall, it was the action was good. There wasn't that many action scenes though. I was expecting more action. I was expecting more cop stuff. Um, I hear the sequel is better, so I'm curious to know what that's gonna be because that's when his brother took over. His brother was a producer on the movie, but then his brother's also his brother in the movie. I don't know if you caught that. Uh, that's his actual
No,
brother. Like his
I
brother in the
didn't.
movie is his actual brother, and then he actually is the one who took over the directing duties in the second one.
They look nothing
Who do you think's a
alike.
better actor? Just curious.
Probably his brother.
What do you think of the stylistic choice of putting glasses behind your shirt? Like as
I
opposed to
mean,
putting it right here where like most people do it or their pocket or on their face.
if if that's his thing, that's his thing, right?
Well, what do you think? Would you wear that? Would you rock that?
I mean, who says
I don't know,
I
maybe you
don't
do.
already?
I've never seen you rock it that way, but who
Yeah,
knows? I
man.
guess there's a first for everything. Is there anything going on in the chat? It's probably a good time to interject with the chat, I guess, unless you have anything else to talk about. I mean,
No, I'll be honest. I'm surprised that I enjoyed this so much, just because of
that the fact that it's a
you
Salman
know
led movie.
what we've experienced so far. Although I didn't hate Wanted. You
The
did?
same action
Oh,
guy,
excuse me.
the same stunt choreographer of Wanted was in this one.
Oh, it's arguably the same exact movie, you know.
He had a
But this
better
one was
character.
this the story. Yeah, he had a better character, and the story was better than this one. And they didn't have that silly twist at the end where, like, oh, he's not a bad guy. He's actually a cop, a super cop infiltrating the underworld. Like then, and they didn't introduce that with like 5 seconds left in the
This one
film. You
was
know what I
just
mean? Like,
he's a bad cop who then turns into a good cop, which you can believe.
well, but he's not even really a bad cop. This one. He's
I
kind of
mean,
a
he's
Robin
kind of a
Hood. I mean,
bad
we don't
cop.
know.
He kind of robbed people,
He's robbing bad
and
guys.
but
He's
yeah, and he
keeping the
also
money
shot
from
his
bad guys.
he shot his fellow cop. All right,
Right, but but he got that
that's
guy
some Serpico type
150,000.
shit or whatever the Al Pacino movie is. Like you know that's some sketchy ass shit right there.
It's definitely
Serpico,
some
yeah.
Serpico stuff. Yeah.
Oh man. But anyway, what's going on in the chat? Anything?
Um, Mayank Madhav, did you like the
No.
songs? No,
They
I
all
fast forwarded
sucked.
the songs.
They were terrible.
Yeah,
They were just boring. They were
yeah.
boring. They didn't serve any purpose. They felt very generic. Like the very first song was just like nothing came of it. Nothing felt like I was like, "Oh, this is great. This is shot well." Or like it was just it felt like run of the mill. Okay, we need to shoot a song. So that's and then there was a lot of them too. Like I feel like the last half there was a song like every 10 minutes. It felt like that. Like literally it felt like that every 10 minutes there was a
Well,
song.
I'm sure it's written in Salman's contract that he's
Well,
got to dance at
I'm sure he
least.
has some
He's
back
got to
end.
dance poorly at least
I'm sure he
15
has some
times
back end contract
a
where it's
film.
like because the album he probably gets sales from the album or something or like whatever. I'm sure. I don't know what
Right.
Indian contracts are, but
He's like, this one's a banger. You got to have this one in there so I could lip sync to it. Um, Apparently, Kashyap's
yeah,
brother
that's
directed
what
the
I
film.
mentioned the first time or earlier. Yeah.
Did you? Excuse me. It sounded more important in the chat.
Well, I mean, I don't know if Anurag was involved in the production at all. I don't know if he took a look at the script or helped in the editing room. I tried to look it up. It didn't really say anything. So I don't really. It is what it is. It's one of those things. I don't know how he got the job either. I don't even know why it's important other than that
Right.
they're related. Really, to be honest.
Well,
No,
just
no, I
people
know, but I'm
know that
saying like
we're big
I don't
on
even really know why it's an
Kashyap
important.
fans. So
It's if it has any relevance, I guess is the best way to say it. Um,
fair enough. Well, let's legitimately open it up to the
this
chat,
concludes our.
guys.
Oh wait, hold on.
Hello, everyone.
Quote unquote the review, what would put a rating on it? 1 to 10, no halves. Full
I'm
8,
gonna
full 7,
go
1 to
one to
5.
five. I'm gonna go one to five Salmons, and I'm gonna give this four Salmons. And I wish we had a graphic where it was like, ding ding ding.
Oh, maybe we
It's him
will in the
like,
future.
you
That's a good
know,
idea.
d- doing his poor dance. But yeah,
I
I
give it
give it 4 out of 5
I give it 3 out of
Salmons.
5
Salman.
because I've watched more Salman movies than you, and I know where this one ranks. It's pretty good for him, but it's 3 out of 5. Story just fell off the cliff.
Oh, but you're going off that film from 90 years ago
Hey
with
man,
Amir Khan.
I'm telling you, it changes your perspective. It makes you realize, oh, there is someone within this guy. Like there was like a energy within him before that just completely dissipated and disappeared. But yeah, so for me, 3 out of 5. For you, 4 out of 5. That's good. That's good. That's a good rating. But yeah, that concludes this part of the thing. So let's just open it up to the chat for a little bit. Um,
Salman's mom in the movie is Akshay Kumar's mother-in-law.
that's cool.
Sweet.
Is she Canadian? Because
Let's just throw all this nepotism out there, guys. Let us know all about it. Uh,
questions.
what else?
Ask questions. This
Yeah,
is your
questions,
time to ask
guys.
questions.
You know what I like is like people seem to get into like discussions and arguments with each other in the chat, and I don't even know if they're watching the review when we do it live. And maybe they go back and they watch it again afterwards. But when the chat is on, it's like let's just
Rahul
talk
Rave
trash to each other.
mentioned that he hopes that Chobol ends up in Rohit Shetty's cop universe. which is like sing 'em and stuff like that. I hope so too. That's
Right.
good. I made the well there. I don't think you watched the trailer, but there was supposed to be like a big team up with Singham, with AJ, and
Yeah,
did we
we
do?
did a
Okay, we did do
reaction
it. Okay,
together.
that didn't come out.
Yeah.
Speaking of the there someone is I think there was a movie or two that were announced in the last few days that are going to start to go to like Indian to like Hotstar or whatever their streaming services are. Or no, Amazon India, something like this. They're basically going to start to, because cinemas aren't opening up, they're going to start to basically copy what Disney's doing, because Disney just did this with Hamilton. Just until we get some questions, then we'll just keep talking. But you heard about Hamilton, right? Disney spent 70 Disney spent
No.
$75 million on Hamilton, because
Salmon, he called him Salmon. Salmon boy is quarantined with four chicks, and guess what? He's still a virgin. I wonder why.
because
Um,
he needs to wait till marriage. Duh. He said that he can't be with another woman until he gets married. And that's why he can't kiss women on screen either, because he
yeah,
doesn't want to disappoint his mother. But Hamilton,
right.
the
The
original
next
cast and crew
16.
of Hamilton filmed one of the performances.
Well, stop the presses. Nashikari asks, "What review is next?" I don't know.
I think the next
I mean, we
review
have
should be
to
to
bank
Bang 2
two.
is definitely should be in contention. I think we should just do a poll to Bang 2 or Khaki. I personally think you should watch that. I've seen it. I think it's a good movie.
Are there two A's?
What?
If there's two
I
A's,
think
it's
it's Khaki,
cocky.
but they'll correct me in
If
the
there's
chat.
two A's,
That's a good movie, good action movie. Like it's an actually Akshay Kumar. It's a good film. But what I was going to say about what Hamilton real quick is they filmed it and they were going to release it in theaters next year. They spent $75 million on their distribution, and it's now going to be Disney just announced they're going to release it on Disney Plus next month. So like,
Hamilton movie will stream on Disney
yep.
Plus on
And
July
it was
3rd.
going to hit the theaters next year, and they spent $75 million on the distribution of the movie, and it's like what? And they agreed.
Oh
The Hamilton
yeah.
crew agreed that part of the stipulations would that it would be released in the theaters. So it's like things are really changing. So it looks like the Indian film industry is also embracing this change, which I was reading on Reddit. Some people are excited about it. I don't think it's a good thing, man. Maybe for the Indian film industry, I don't know, but like for us, I'm not liking it. I'm not really liking where that's going. I'm not. It's not a good thing.
Well, we talked about this on a podcast a couple weeks ago, and you know, it's it's because you like going to the
A
theater.
lot
If
of
that's
people
your
do
thing.
though, and
I'm
it's not
telling
even
you,
just about that.
I,
It
I don't think people like going as much as you think they do.
How
I
can you
think
say
most
that
people
when
don't.
Avengers grossed almost $3 billion?
Yeah, but that's one film and it's a spectacle.
I don't think that's the case.
I think it's part and parcel with the experience of watching a movie of that magnitude versus watching Dumb and
Here's
Dumber.
why I disagree.
You know,
Movies are
wait,
still the cheapest form of entertainment that you can go on a date night or something like that. Even going to watch a play you can't even watch plays. They're freaking so expensive. They're $70+ to go watch a play. I mean, watching Book of Mormon on Broadway was like $150. Going to a concert's the same thing. I mean, even going to the damn comedy store to watch a comedy show is expensive because you have to buy alcohol. Like you go to, so movie theaters are still like one of the cheapest forms of like, hey, let's go like dinner and a movie type thing, like quote unquote cheap dates, and for a lot of people,
or I just hit that on demand and have you come over to my house and we can fuck and not even watch the movie.
well, some
Which is how the kids do it nowadays. Netflix and
uh
chill. Let's see. Who would you guys give me? Would you guys give me an LOR, letter of recommendation, if I ever apply to USC Film School? Sure. We're not going to help
yeah,
you with that. That's fine.
yeah, why not?
Absolutely would. You got to write it though. You got to write
Because
it, and then I'll just
that's
sign
what a
it.
lot of the instructors did for people is they made you do it that way.
Yeah. Psycho talks about this actually on. He sent me an article on Instagram, but I didn't read the article. I apologize, but um, and he's not the only person. Actually, I heard it from numerous people that Salman changed the script a lot, the original script, to make it suit him. I mean, that's when you're a big star, that's pretty normal. Bruce Willis changed the Die
My
Hard
question is, who gives
films.
a shit? No, I
Well,
mean,
no, I'm
why
just
even?
saying
But
it's just
why
the
even
thing
talk
that
about
John
that?
Wayne.
Like, why does it even matter?
Well, I think from what the headline said, it seems like that might have like ruined the other guy's career, the guy that wrote the film, in a way,
I don't know.
because maybe he was like, it needs to be
I
this
feel like when you're
way.
dealing, I feel like when you're dealing,
This is
when
my
first of all, when you're in an industry where it's actor first, I feel like that's a part of the game. I mean,
right.
it's not so much here. I feel like not anymore, where it's like, I mean, unless it's like Tom Cruise or something, but it's like we look at movies in America and we look at the directors, right? Like
It
who in India, it's like who
it's
the fuck directed
yeah.
this
Well,
movie? I don't know,
it's
but Salman
not
Khan's in it. It's Salman's film. It's
it's
SRK's
not
movie. It's
anymore.
Akshay's movie. It's
Well, yeah,
like Special
yeah. It's
26.
it's a
Whose
star
movie is it?
group.
It's Akshay's film. Who directed it? I don't fucking know.
Yeah, absolutely. People are saying
No,
D-Day next.
it's Khaki or Dabangg 2. Khaki.
Cocky.
Khaki or Khaki? Correct me in the comments. I want to hear it from them. I need to hear it from them. Because no one suggested D-Day before, and then unfortunately we lost the two great actors that we did, and now everyone wants that to be the front runner movie. But I don't think it's. I don't think it's
Uh,
like we have so many things that we want to watch first before we even get there. So the movie's not going anywhere. Um, yeah, I just think.
I still need to finish The
Yeah, I
Mandalorian.
don't know why you didn't do that.
Uh,
It's a good one. Uh, Rick and but phonetically, how does it spell? How is it spelled? Which one is it?
oh, there isn't two ways. There's only one A. Rick had said stop
We too
reviewing
know our
shit
director.
films.
It's you who doesn't give a shit. I actually disagree with that entirely. Completely disagree with that sentiment. I think there's some people who absolutely know who the directors are without a shadow of a doubt. But I think for the most part, the people who interact with us in the comments, it's always like, this is SRK's movie. This is this, and which is why when I did my Sarkar review, not for Big B's, but the Tamil one, where I like went after VJ because that's kind of like the accepted thing is like you blame the actor for the movie sucking with Indian films. I don't know why, but that's what people do. So I embraced it on like that review in particular. Like it's just I don't know why. Just like Race 3, like people blame Salman for Race 3 sucking. It's not like you know what I mean? So
Well, it shows how much power. Maybe it's because he has so much power, and that's why. Because he decided to change the original idea because of his flexing skills. It may have ruined the film, so he'll get the blame for it.
why ask for questions you don't answer any? What questions aren't we answering? Spam questions?
Who,
Like fucking
who asked
it's the
that?
same question 50 fucking times? I don't know. Sinister did.
Sinister, what did you ask? Because we answered the one about Salman
Exactly. It's
changing
just fucking more troll
the
shit. That's what
script.
it is.
Yeah.
Toilet paper isn't script. What?
Oh man.
Cocky. So what did I say? Khaki? Cocky. 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 I meant cocky. There are no questions here. What are these questions that are being said that are being asked? Who agrees
In
chewable
America
pandy is
too.
like Desi Deadpool? All right, what do you think about that? There's a question. Do you think that chewable pandy is the
No.
Indian Deadpool?
Stop. No. Moving on.
Director, how many songs do you need in this movie? Salman Khan. Yes. That's pretty that's accurate for sure.
I want to respond to a comment that Ave Lale said. People rave a lot about their actors. It's Tom Cruise. It's a Leonardo movie. Sylvester. People don't ever say it's a Leonardo movie.
Yeah,
Sylvester
never.
Stallone. Yeah, but those are like you got to remember those are
Those are
actors
usually
from
his
another.
movies too, by the way. Sylvester
Yeah,
movies are usually his because he produces them or he
yeah,
has a hand in the script. Like,
yeah. But he's also from a different time, and he's the last of a dying breed. Like he does guys like him, those '80s action stars are disappearing.
and they
You
also
know.
make the movies for them. Like,
Yeah.
it's like you said with Bruce
Exactly.
Willis with Die Hard. Like Die Hard 4, which is actually the last good one, the one with like Kevin Smith. Like that's even though it was directed by the guy who did the one with the vampires. Um, uh, Starts with an L. I don't know why I'm blanking. I could see his name right now. It's still Bruce Willis's movie because it's his movie. He's the main producer on it. I think he was a producer on it, but he absolutely, without a shadow of a doubt, had a say in things because that's just.
Yeah, absolutely.
But yeah, but with the Leonardo, no one ever says that.
Yeah.
It's always like Scorsese's movie, Wolf of Wall Street, Scorsese, or Tarantino's movie. Like no one ever calls Django Unchained Leonardo's movie or Jamie Foxx's
No,
movie. It's Tarantino's
not at
film.
all.
Wolf of Wall Street is Scorsese's
Absolutely.
movie. Goodfellas is not Ray Liotta's movie. It's Scorsese's film. Like The
Definitely
Godfather is
really is.
Francis Ford Coppola's film, not Marlon Brando or Al Pacino. Scarface. You could argue Scarface is a movie that might be Al Pacino's, but for me, it's Brian De Palma. It's a Brian De Palma movie. It's Carlito's Way, same thing. Brian De Palma. Like
I mean, this Scarface argument has more to do with the character itself. Like Al Pacino's performance as a character is like iconic. So,
and then
you know,
plus it's a remake, so like Howard Hawks is the one who owns Scarface, really, because he's the original director of it. Which actually goes to my point that like I know the directors, like even like
it was
John Wayne
also
movies,
it was also a box it was also a box office flop when it came out
but
initially.
now it's huge.
Yeah. Before we miss these questions, how did you like Sonakshi Sinha? She was beautiful. I mean, Salman, I like her better than Katrina Kaif. I feel like he's only had Katrina Kaif in his films the last few,
I think they just
the last
released a
few
new
times.
song with her in it or something, so
Yeah, you know,
still hasn't gotten in them.
but
Still hasn't gotten in.
she's a very beautiful woman.
Anything you
You
hated
know,
about the movie? Uh, the music, the songs, the like just the overabundance of songs. Will you react to Patal Lok? I don't even know what that is. So, is this the song? Is this the best Salman shirt opening scene? His entry scene is the best entry scene I've seen. Period.
yeah.
Trying to continue to read. Godfather is boring, I guess. Commercial movies are attributed to actors, but grounded movies are attributed to directors. I think in India, I think that's true. Here, I guess but even here, no, not really. Fast and the Furious movies, not really. Maybe Vin Diesel.
All right, I'm gonna give you guys. All right, Sinister. Here's your chance. You said we answered one of the questions. Now send the other two questions that we didn't respond to.
Ooh,
Go for
boom,
it.
roasted.
The floor is yours. Send it out there. We'll answer it right now.
Someone mothers in the next. Yes, I did see that. Because in Tenet, they filmed a lot in India. I don't know about a lot, but they filmed a good chunk of it in India. So, like I said before, that's the one movie that'll make me want to leave the house if the theaters open up.
Don't you feel Tarantino feel in Dabangg? No.
I can see why someone might say that, but it's not tonally tonally Tarantino can go over the top, but he still remains grounded. Like everything still remains grounded. So tonally,
Well, and
he's
also for me
emulating so
personally,
many
like
genres.
one of Tarantino's big things is his dialogue and his exposition. Like that's really there's a lot of like memorable lines in his films. I mean, maybe also this could also be this lost in
Yeah, in
translation
Hindi it
stuff,
could be,
but
but for the subtitles, no.
yeah,
I'm not. You know, I'd actually compare this movie more with Robert Rodriguez movies than Tarantino's films.
Yes, that's a
Once Upon a Time in
that's a
Mexico,
good.
Desperado, not just because the music does help, but like just the way Robert Rodriguez also shoots his
Actually,
action
that was
scenes.
the only song I liked was the Spanish Western music.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's that's and like that was
yeah,
clearly like to me Robert
yeah.
Rodriguez. But that which is not a
Right.
problem. I like Robert Rodriguez. Robert Rodriguez he's going to direct some of the episodes on the new season of The Mandalorian. Um so so far were those questions. No questions have been asked by Sinister.
Probably missed it because we are talking.
No, he hasn't posted anything. So it's all BS.
So
All this giving a shit for
script.
nothing. Um likes to Salman and Amir interfere in script a lot and make produce their own, and it's made by their own family. These actors also market their own movie and act as distributors, so they are all over. Yeah, we've kind of established that, which is why we say that like in India you can say that Amir Khan's movie is his movie even if he's not the director in it, because it's just a whole different, it's not really a whole different approach to things. It's just how Hollywood used to run things back in the day.
Abe Lally, Godfather didn't feel like a family drama. It was a family drama.
Yeah, that's literally, it's not, Godfather's not a gangster movie, it's a family film. The family just happens to be, they just happen to be criminals, or not criminals, but part of the Cosa Nostra. Did you recognize the dad who also played the bad cop in Wanted and Junkie and uh
No.
no?
The script was originally a dull, dark one for Irfan. Thoughts? I mean, I like how you put dull. Like, I mean, if I don't know, I would have to read the original script, but Irfan definitely wouldn't have been a good choice to play.
Well, if it was a dark, serious
So,
film, who knows? You got to see. That's
yeah.
that. My thoughts are what Gian said. You got to read the script. You got to see where it was first before you really have thoughts on it.
Do you have any interest in Bangladeshi movie trailer reaction? Sure, send them our way.
I mean, even though we haven't recorded one in
It,
2 months.
yeah, I mean, reactions right now are tough, but if you want to throw a link, comment on this. Actually, comment on this one with hashtag DG request with the link to the reaction to the trailer, and
Subs.
it has to have subs.
Salman should improve his driving now. Roads are empty, but too many bucks coming out of the wild roaming in roads, so can't say. That's funny. Because, Salman shot that buck. I mean, he didn't shoot it. The people he was with shot it. Just like he didn't run the guy over, like his driver ran the guy over, too. Like.
Uh, Pupun Jenna, Gangs of Wasseypur is kind of a family
It
drama.
is. So is Sarkar.
Yeah.
Most
Yeah.
gangster movies are usually family dramas, because that's the whole point of the criminal underworld. Is like it is a family away from like it's like your street family, I guess. When society doesn't.
Ooh, we got some political questions here. American government going out all out against China. What do you think? Do you think it will affect investment in Hollywood by Chinese? Absolutely. We already see what has happened with the NBA. That the one owner from the Houston Rockets made a comment about the stuff that was transpiring in Hong Kong,
And
and
then they released COVID
now
19 on the world, and now they're now getting their last
and then
laugh. Now you have
and
no basketball.
and China refuses to televise any NBA games in the future on their CCTV. So yeah, absolutely. I think and I'm glad. Why are we pandering?
Well,
You
see,
know,
it depends. It depends on where the money's coming from and on what it's being used for. Because like Chinese investment to get me a movie like Pacific Rim or Godzilla or things like that. I know Godzilla's a Japanese thing, but Legendary is Chinese backed, so that's why I say that. If I'm gonna get these movies through Chinese investment, bring it on. I want to see it, 100%.
so there you have it, folks. Daniel's a
And
sellout.
there was the movie that came out last year, Midway. I don't know if you saw it, but
Of course not.
I like movies like that. I like World War II movies. They don't make them very often anymore. $100 million film. Roland Emmerich made it, and 25 million came from China, right? And they had to.
Fun fact, guys. I've been to Roland Emmerich's house and swam in his pool.
Um, that's a true story. Um, but they had to include the stipulation was they had to include a scene with the Doolittle raids where they go into Burma and they show the Japanese attacking Chinese people, and then at the very end they had to have like a title card explaining that like Japan murdered like whatever however many Chinese people, and I'm just like, you know what? For a movie that had to do with Midway, you don't ever see this part told very often, and I knew there was an agenda right away. I didn't know they had the investment until after I watched the movie, but I kind of liked it. So
On the flip side, Doctor Strange had to change the ancient one
a Chinese person to a white woman with
from a Tibetan person to a white woman because China said no. So yeah, that's
well,
bullshit.
see,
Fuck it.
that's Disney seems to be the one who's bending the knee to them because they shot extra stuff for Iron Man 3 and like and the same thing with Michael Bay's movie and Transformers, like they had to shoot like the whole
I'm sure.
movie in China.
I, I'm sure it had something to do with opening that park in
I mean, let's be
Shanghai.
honest. If some
You
Chinese
know,
producer came to us with $10 million, was like, "Hey, here's $10 million. Do what you want. You just have to include this, this, and this." I'm not gonna say no.
well, you're also talking to someone who hasn't earned $1 since March 11th. So don't ask me. Don't ask a starving person if they'll
Okay,
eat the
okay.
sandwich that you're handing to them.
Let's just say they came up to us on March 10th with $10 million. They've been. I'm just saying that money's money
I mean, I'm
sometimes.
still starving, my friend. But okay, do you think Tarantino mixes his politics in movies? No, I don't think so at all.
Although I will say that I do think his perversions or like his personal thoughts do filter into the movie.
Those definitely creep in. Like his personal stuff does, but his politics, no. I would say his films are very neutral in that
His
sense.
character's politics
Uh,
factor in big time. But I only think I think in like Hateful Eight, like there's moments where I saw Tarantino like writing and giggling and like I think he likes to write provocative content. So like his own
right.
self comes out in that way, but no, not politics.
That whole your son. I made your son suck my Negro dick
And
thing.
he
Yeah.
explains it for like 10 minutes about what it looked like and everything. Yeah.
I mean, but why do we have to talk about his worst film? Daniel, are you using lockdown as an excuse to grow your hair? You used to avoid cutting even before. What is
Uh
it?
no, not really. I guess kinda. I don't know.
I
Now it's gonna
mean,
get
I'm
donated.
using lockdown to not cut my
Well, you
hair.
can't get your hair cut.
Like,
Who's gonna cut
I
your hair?
can't get my hair. I mean, all I could do is shave, like buzz it with
You
my
should have your son cut it.
with my.
See what comes out.
Well, I don't want him to chop off an ear. Um. Okay, let's see.
One of the best gangster movies is Blood In, Blood Out. Oh no, no.
I mean,
For,
there's some classic stuff about Blood In, Blood Out. Give me some chon chon.
no,
You know,
Blood In. When I watched it the first time, everyone was telling me it's the Mexican Godfather. It's so great. It's like it's such a great story. It's 3 hours. And I'm like, woohoo!
okay, but you have to clarify to people that the people telling you it was the Mexican Godfather were Mexicans.
They were,
Um,
they were, they were,
and
and
they
they were like
all
super paisa too. Like,
and after every word they said
hey
fool,
fool.
yeah, fool, hey,
Well,
fool.
because I was just thinking, I'm like, man, I don't know any Mexicans who go like chale or like whatever all their language they're using in the movie. I'm like, that's
Dale, wey.
with the little Canelo guy. But if you watch it,
Well,
if you watch
also
American
the
Me, you don't
movie
need to see Blood In, Blood Out.
Blood In, Blood Out is supposed to be about the migrant farm workers from up north.
Is that
So
why I didn't connect to it?
you know, a little different. Yeah, you're a blue ragger.
Watch Blackmail. We
Let's
did,
see.
or I did. We had a watch along actually.
Let's see. Amit Maria found Sinister's fourth question 3 times.
What is it?
Kill the Irishman, of course. Daniel, what if Salman Bai comes up with $5 million and asks you to make a really over the top movie worse than Race 3? What about that? Will you accept it?
Yes.
Yes. Uh,
You can give me $1 million and I'll accept it. You can give me 500,000. It wouldn't take very much, actually, to be honest with you.
Daniel will do it for $50 and a fucking chicken sandwich from Jack in the Box.
My only, but if it gets to that,
Let
if
us
it gets
wrap.
to that low though, I'd have to have some creative control over it though. There has to be
Yeah.
stipulations of like, someone's not gonna sing or dance unless he's playing an old man.
Stop the review. Start the podcast. I mean, if we stop this, I'm going to sleep, guys. So, uh, let's see. Man, are you hired just sleepy? I don't know who you're talking to, but I'm definitely fucking sleepy. It's 1 a.m. here. And I've been up since like 6:30.
Turning into Mexican
So,
Jesus? Oh, I guess.
imagine a crossover movie, Mexican and Indian, where Daniel and Ayushmann put on the act. Is that the guy to say you look like?
No. No. What would be the movie? What would be the movie? What would the movie be
I don't know.
about?
Yeah, you don't look like that. That's the guy from the
Anna
he
Dune?
pretended to play blind,
Yeah.
right? Oh, dude.
I can't have control. I know I can't, but I'm saying if he was only going to pay me $5, that would have to be the trade-off. If it was 5 million, you can make whatever movie you want. I'll still put my name on it because they're not even going to know I directed the movie anyway. That's the whole point. It's just a vehicle. It's a launching thing. I'll work with Salman. I don't care. Why would I not? Why would I not? Why wouldn't you work with Salman?
Sinister says he's giving us 5. We still haven't accepted. Here, there's my 5. High five, buddy.
There's my 5 too. There's 10. You got 10.
When I pound it too, pound it. Boom.
Well, no questions. I guess not a lot of questions. Let's just do a
I'm,
few more minutes and then wrap it up because it's been 45 minutes. This is the Q&A part anyway.
movie will be about a gay Mexican Daniel. That's factual. That's correct. Accurate.
Kill the
Who's
Kill
infatuated
the
towards a
Irishman
gay
is
Indian.
another mass. Have you seen Kill the Irishman? I've never seen that.
Daniel transfer me $100.
If I had $100 to
Kill the
transfer,
Irish.
if I had $100 to transfer, I mean,
You know what I did watch? I watched Kill the Irishman.
is it good?
Yeah. Yeah. It was all right. Ray Stevenson's not that good an actor.
I don't. I just.
He
I
was
didn't see.
he was the
I didn't
lead.
see it. I've been wanting to rewatch
Yeah,
that Johnny
just
Depp movie though, where he plays Whitey Bulger after they killed
oh
him.
yeah.
And then I went to the Mob Museum and I like read about him, and I'm like, oh, I kind of want to watch the movie again, because I remember.
Daniel fits the character of the painter from Blood In, Blood Out. Must be the long hair.
I don't even remember the painter. Couldn't even tell you.
People say hindsight is 2020 all the time. Now 2020 is fucked. What will you say?
Where are the questions like this? That's a good question. Do you think there's any chance of recovery for 2020, or do you think it's time to look to 2021?
No, I think 2020 is done. I think the CSUs are going completely online. My brother's not happy about that because apparently my niece is a shitty student if she's not in the classroom.
Oh,
Um,
yeah. See, it's right now being in school, man. What? Okay, let me ask you this. Well, let's end on this after, and if we get any more questions, we'll answer them. But if we were in film school right now, back in USC, and this happened right now, how would you want a refund? Like, how would you want to approach the situation here? Because it's not like we're taking our degree wasn't critical studies, or we could just watch movies at home and sit in a Zoom.
yeah,
Like,
if it was like where we needed to
be
like
there, didn't like be in the labs.
yeah, if I'd have missed out on my 310 or something like that, I'd be hot.
I mean, do you drop out? Like, what's the? I'm just curious. I don't even know what people are doing. Like, if I was at USC
Right.
right now, what? other than graduating, I guess. But even then, I'd want a refund of some sort
Right, because you didn't get access to all
to
the.
what you paid for. Like it's a really bad. I
Yeah.
don't know. It sucks. It really sucks. It just sucks. Um,
What is your thinking process while writing a script or screenplay? I don't. You have to expand on that. That's a very general question that doesn't.
I can tell you how we have written them in the past. We usually will outline and then come up with the characters first, outline the scenarios in which the characters will be in, and then once we do that is usually when the script gets scripted, but it always changes.
Daniel's a goddamn liar.
That's how we did
I've
Desperate
never.
Morons. That's exactly how we did.
I never did not outline
Oh,
Desperate
you
Morals.
bullshit fucking liar. Fuck you.
We did
Yes, we
not
did. We
outline
met.
it.
We met in the damn library, and we put it on a board and post-it notes. I have them. I have the
We
post-it
put
cards.
that on the.
Don't you dare! No,
We put
don't you
that on
dare
the board.
change the narrative here. I have the
No,
post-it
no,
cards.
no, no. That was we put that up after a script was already fucking written.
No,
All
we
right.
did not.
Yes, we did. Absolutely.
You wrote the script in
Absolutely.
2 days,
Yeah,
but
I
we had,
did. Was it a good script? No.
but we had the meetings before that with, and I had put. Why would I have post-it cards after we write the script?
Because I wrote another script before that in 2 days. Remember? That was just off the
I'm.
top of my head. It's just listen, and it's not the way you're supposed to do it. But the outlining, yeah, not a fan of it. Um,
That's because he doesn't
I
do it.
just
Outlining is great. I recommend outlining so you know what the hell you're doing, so you can have so you can see the story before you write anything, before you write 90 fucking pages and you realize, "Oh, this shit sucks." But with that in mind, an outline doesn't need to be a fucking
shouldn't
treatment.
suck.
An outline is just like this scene and then this scene and you're able to just move it around. It's all pre-production. There's no process, I guess is a good answer. It's just fucking sit down and write.
You got to know what your story is, really. Like, a lot of times, like I have, like in my notes on my phone, I have like a million ideas, like, and it's always like a sentence or two sentences. It's always like, you know, movie about long-haired Mexican who can pass for Filipino, sits at home and loses weight by not eating,
Is that a is this
and
my
that's the whole movie.
biopic?
That's Daniel's biopic, and as you guys can tell, it's fucking boring. But
Look at all these
but
questions
I
now.
have a lot of stuff like that.
LA
Let's
County should
see.
stay at home till end of July. How do you see it? Elon Musk won anyway, fighting his local authorities. Yeah, I heard that today that they were going to extend the thing till July. That's not going to happen anymore. The idea of this of people
They
staying
actually passed. They actually passed today a new like mask measure, an official mask measure. Apparently, the last mask measure wasn't
Oh, now
official.
it is because
This
people are
one
because of the fucking
now it's
stupid viral
official.
videos that
Yeah.
people are making. It's not even amend. It's like not even enforceable. Now it is. But what I was gonna say is, I believe, and correct me if I'm wrong, that we've passed the point of people staying at home and respecting the lockdown, at least enough. The only way it's gonna really get locked down again is if there's a huge spike. But I think the keeping people together and like stay at home, like for the most part, I think it's it's not done, but people are giving up on it. Because just when I go
I'm
out
gonna
now,
say
I
this.
see so many people. I see so many people without
I'm,
masks. I see all like. I mean, you probably go out more than I do.
I still see a lot of people like inside stores and stuff with their masks on and stuff, like inside the stores because they won't let you in the store without the mask. But I mean, honestly, we'll try to podcast. I think we can go real deep into the COVID-19 stuff, like without. I mean, we're already past the review, but I think that's for another day. Couple more questions before we wrap this up. Do you think Hollywood will bend over other country to cater them if the country is a big market
I
and a
mean, if it's
democracy, unlike China? I mean, you're going to be hard. What other economy
it needs to be China.
out there?
Like Hollywood's
Yeah,
not bending over for Hindi films, and like they're not bending over for South Korean movies. Like the reason why Hollywood quote unquote bends over for China is not because of the money necessarily. It's because the amount of ticket sales they can generate. Because China has 5,500 theaters plus.
Yeah.
That's what it is, and they don't charge 2 cents, to show their movie. So I mean, it's just that much revenue. Like I don't know how much revenue India generated for Avengers, but I'm gonna go on out on a limb. It was nothing compared to what China generated. I guess I can look that up.
Right.
Let's see. Uh,
Did you like Did you like American Hustle?
it was
No, wasn't really
okay.
a
It
fan of
was
that film. It
okay.
was
It was
yeah, it
nothing
was what
special. Wasn't anything. I don't care to rewatch it. It was okay.
was Salman being invincible a bad thing? Yes, yeah, to a certain extent,
I wish he would die in some of
but
his movies.
it wasn't terrible. Like I didn't hate the film because of it, but it's always good to have a little bit of adversity for your characters. You know,
So let's see.
like I mean, and I guess you could make the argument that the whole relationship with his stepfather that was his adversity, but not
There wasn't any
really.
adversity in the
Didn't
film.
wish,
That there was because there was
yeah,
no main antagonist. There was no one that was
yeah.
making his life hell. It was just a family drama, or like the fact that he couldn't get married to the woman because the dad was alive. But to end it, let's end it on Endgame. What do you think China brought in box office wise? Domestic, the movie made $858 million. Just to put that out there. What do you think China brought in with? Don't look it up. Just give it a guess. I have the number right here.
300 million.
614 million is what China brought in.
Ooh,
Now, what do you think India brought in?
40 million.
62 million. So it actually did gross more than you expected, but not by much. The let's see what comes close to. So right now, I can tell you that Spain had 13. The UK had 55 million. So actually, India contributed more than England. Mexico 31
Right,
million.
but hold on, but compare the populations between the UK and India.
Oh wait, I was reading. That was
You
opening
know,
weekend. Sorry, I had
yeah.
read it wrong. Um,
Oh,
so let's see. Who else brought in 60 million? Finland? No, France. France and Germany brought 60 million in, which is comparable to India, and the UK brought in 115 million actually. So they doubled India's rate. Brazil brought in 85 million, which that's crazy. I never would have expected that number out of Brazil. Um, Australia brought 60 million. Japan bought 55 million. South Korea brought in 100 million. See, so
Mary Gold next.
there you go. So maybe I'm wrong about South Korea. South Korea brought in 100 million. That's not too bad, but nothing compared to 600 million in China, which is the whole point. No one's going to be bending. Hollywood is not going to be bending over unless their grosses are rivaling what we are bringing in domestically, and India is not doing that. So it's yeah. But anything else in the chat that you see?
Apparently, we're the first to review Dabangg,
Cool.
Dabangg.
That's cool. Well, hopefully it was an interesting 17-minute review with a 40-minute Q&A after.
Yeah, and I'm gonna go to bed.
Yeah.
So thanks for watching, guys. Make sure to leave comments.
And I will post.
Make sure to
So,
share
so,
this.
so do you want me to post a poll? Dabangg 2 versus Kaki or Kaki?
Post the
Post
poll.
a poll between those two as the next
Yeah.
review. I think Kaki should be the one. And then in terms of the next video that's coming out, there's going to be a review for Sarkar coming out later today in the U.S. So tomorrow in India. So be on the lookout for that. And yeah, that'll that's it. Unless you have anything else to say. Is anything else for them to look forward to? Cooking videos, whatever. I don't know. Just be on the lookout for future stuff.
Yeah, I was trying to film today, it didn't work out, but yeah, be on the lookout for a cooking video soon.
All right, guys. I'm going to end the stream now. Good night, everybody.